Hey everybody, welcome to Marvel Movie News. My name is Matt Key, and today we're talking about Deadpool 2. We're talking about Black Panther, Captain Marvel, New Warriors, Cloak and Dagger, and just about every single thing about Infinity War that's ever in the history of the Infinity War universe. Sit right there, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel Movie News.
Skibbity bop,
Skibbity
Marvel
bop.
Movie News.
Yep.
Like Marvel Movie News.
Yep, I for a second forgot my own name. I was
okay.
like, oh, I'm on camera, and a couple,
And Marvel Movie
and
News.
there's like a few hundred people watching me right now, and I'm just
It's because I was late. I threw off your chi. We'd be 20
That's
minutes
true.
in by now.
That's true. That is
I was,
true.
I
Yeah.
was
Take full
expecting you to be
responsibility.
like, my name is Coy, this is Marquia Matt.
And
Matt's on the couch doing social media. What?
we're the Jakes.
I'm
Coming
Brittany.
live from
What
the Cosmic
happened?
Couch.
What happened? Hi everybody. We're the Marvel Movie News, where we tell you all the news from all of the studios and why you should be as excited as we are. We're coming to you live from Thanos' floating chair. We're in the cup
we're all
holder.
sharing?
Yes,
We're in the cup
in
holder.
the cup
see.
holder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right next to
Yep.
the empty Infinity Gauntlet.
Yep. Thanos.
Good.
Strange fact: Thanos loves Dr. Pepper.
Does he?
Yep. He loves Dr. Pepper. He always has it in his empty cup. But
Yeah.
the
Is this
Coal
canon?
Obsidian. Yeah, this is total canon.
I mean,
but
it's
the
the
Coal
most
Obsidian,
educated soda.
Yeah, the Coal Obsidian
Exactly.
went out for cigarettes like 2 or 3 months ago, and they just haven't returned with his Dr. Pepper yet, so he's getting a little cranky.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why
No.
we
Because
never
he
get
doesn't like Pepsi. Like, I'm totally fine
Yeah,
with that.
yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
Pepsi.
he hates Pepsi
Gotcha.
because it
Yeah.
inspires new generations,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
he doesn't want that.
He really took to the slogan, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
Oh,
Deep cut
Marquia.
Dr.
I
Pepper
know.
reference.
Wow.
Hey,
And
who else saw Short Change this weekend? I
No,
mean, what was it? Johnny Five, what was it?
Johnny
Short
Five?
Circuit.
There you go.
There you go,
I
Short
said,
Circuit.
that's a
What is
thing I've
Short
seen.
Change?
That's
That's
another
nothing.
movie?
No,
That's a movie I
Sounds
made.
like an indie drama.
Anyway, we are the Marvel Movie News. This is episode 128. You can subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News or find us at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network or on their website, popcorntalknetwork.com. Also on Twitter at Marvel News PTN or at the Popcorn Talk. Also on Facebook.com/Marvel News Show. And if you'll tweet a link out to our show with a message telling people about our live chat and how they can participate in the live chat, then Hydra Steve in the booth will retweet you. Hey, Hydra Steve.
Ew.
Ayo.
There he is.
Ayo. And we're sorry that
Yeah.
we're coming to you late today, but there was one of the nastier accidents that's ever happened
seen.
in Los Angeles. Coy got stuck in that.
I hope everyone's okay. I send out all the good juju to anyone on the 5 right now.
Yeah, but
It's
so for
Yeah.
those of you that don't live in Los Angeles, the 5 is one of the biggest freeways that runs through the city. It's like 17 lanes, both directions, and all of it was shut down,
Yeah.
except for one
Yeah.
lane in both directions. So,
Not to be confused with the 405 or the 101 or that
Yeah,
sketch from SNL.
or that sketch from SNL that is so
well, I
good
did
on.
have to take Wanga over to the, which is actually how we talk here. This actually
Yep,
happens.
that's
Yes,
how.
it is.
That's how. It's true.
It's true.
That
It's
sketch.
real.
That
This is
sketch
a
is
fact.
true.
It's
That's
too real.
Yeah, it's
It
too
is.
real. So none of us in Los Angeles laughed. We're like, oh, that just hurt. Do
Yeah,
we
you're
all
like,
sound like
ooh,
douchey?
ooh.
Oh,
And then it gets-
ooh,
it's
that's too real. Anyway, hey guys, my name is Matt Key at the Matt Key. We're joined by Marquia McCarty at MarkeIamCCarty.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
closest yet.
And we're joined by Coy Jandro at CoyJandreau.
There it is. There's the magic.
And
I love
Ollie.
that every time it sounds like he's
and Ollie.
learning the alphabet for the first time.
Just
Yeah.
Ollie.
It's
Just
like
Ollie.
Ollie.
Just
The-
Ollie.
it's
Just
it's
Ollie.
not just
Just Ollie.
it's not just
Oh.
Ollie, but there's so much good to say about Ollie
Yeah.
that I just can't even
Sorry.
try.
I got
to
really
start.
distracted because Neva R. Williams in the chat's talking about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, like their
Yeah.
trailer. Like I got,
Yeah.
oh my god! So I'm like, I need to get.
Are
that
you
plugged
okay?
in.
Do you need a moment?
Do
you need a moment,
I'm fine.
So we can proceed. Thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate you allowing that. We're all good. We're ready to start this news.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would want straightened out is Hydra Steve
Hydra wife?
No.
Every time. Little
Is
chuckles.
he like occult Steve or is he really Hydra Steve?
Well,
or is
the
he-
most important
I'm-
thing
Yeah.
is that we now know that the voice of Doom is an agent of Hammer. Because once
There we
again, he did not send us an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. minute, so I'd like to segue into him transferring over to Hammer, because clearly...
Yeah, he's clearly
Clearly
working
has.
for
Clearly
Hammer
has.
and Osborn.
That's two
I'm rereading
shows
those.
without
They're
an
so
Agent
good.
of S.H.I.E.L.D. moment.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good right now.
Yeah.
So I just don't have the bandwidth to summarize it in my head and also handle all the
I
news.
want like a
and-
3-minute summary when he's back, and it's just him like sweating and like ranting through things, like 3 hours of just Doom melting in front of us.
So if you want an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. minute, hit him up
Harass Doom.
at that Zach Wilson, TheZachWilson.
Wow, that's a great impression of me doing an impression of Koi. That was
It's wrong.
high five.
That's the whole
you.
hosting
I even had
table
to
in
bounce.
one.
There we go.
Okay, 5 minutes in, let's get the show started. What do you think? By the way, we have a lot of news. We're probably going to rush through a lot of this stuff because as of Wednesday, I remember last week looking at the news going, oh, wow, like, it's
talk.
Wednesday. We've got an hour's worth of show already. And then Thursday happened. I was like, oh, God, we've got 2 hours worth of show. Then Friday happened. I was like, we don't have enough time. Like, I legitimately, like, I very rarely have to do this where I sit down and I'm like, well, that's going to be about 5 minutes. That's going to be about 2 minutes. And add it all up. I got halfway through the running order yesterday and was at an hour and a half. And was like, oh, I'm going to have to cut some stuff.
Feature-length Marvel movie news.
Yeah, I was like, welcome to 3 hours of our show, everybody. So unfortunately, some of you may be excited to hear news from us that we don't legitimately have time to talk about because so much broke last week. If you want to hear specific opinions on specific articles, tweet us.
Yeah.
And I'll try to be better at tweeting.
This
tweetering.
week only. Matt
This
uses
week
Twitter.
only. Matt Key confirms he does have a Twitter. Okay, quick news. Deadpool 2, X-Men, Dark Phoenix, New Mutants. Get the release date.
Strong
Yeah.
open.
Strong open.
today.
Wow.
Strong open.
They just this jewel, this huge jewel in our laps.
Now,
so.
I want to let you know, I went back and forth on this because we do have a little bit of Black Panther news, but
Yes, we do.
the Black Panther news I did not feel was as big as learning X-Men Dark Phoenix was confirmed and that New Mutants was coming out before any of the other
Before
three, like, which is weird.
Yeah,
That's
which
weird. We got to
is
talk about that.
Interesting. Yeah, no.
so
I totally
just-
understand with that, and there will be a lot of Wakanda between now and February.
Exactly.
2018.
So there's going to be some rumbles. There's going to
Yeah.
there are going to be some awkward phone calls where I have to call you guys and be like, "Hey, which is the bigger news?" Because I promised both of you that you would start when you have the bigger news.
What a glorious problem.
Yeah, it's what a tremendous problem to have.
Yes. I will say that we've started with Deadpool like out of the last 5 shows at least 4 times.
I mean, it is almost Black Panther season, and I will weep uncontrollably. But until then, Deadpool 2.
Well,
Yes.
and also here's the other. It's more than Deadpool.
It's a
2.
full Fox slate.
It's the
Yeah,
full
yeah,
Fox
no.
slate.
No,
And something
I'm-
must be going on because like all the studios, I don't know what it is, but like all the studios are announcing all their big.
Except Marvel.
No, Marvel.
No.
But they said they weren't going to announce past Phase 4, which is what I dreamed. Remember last show? I was like,
that's
man, I
true.
really hope they
right.
don't
Oh, and
announce.
you know what's-
so everyone else
you
is
know
like,
what's-
fine, we'll announce.
You know what's interesting today? The main magazines, the rags, Variety,
Print media
Deadpool.
folks for the young.
Yeah.
You can pick
Variety,
them up
Hollywood
and
Reporter, and Deadline all reported that Disney released their slate for like the next 3 or 4 years. And on that slate, there wasn't one Marvel film except for untitled Marvel film in 2020. Because everything
Right.
else is already claimed. They don't need to
gonna
like
be my
move
favorite
anything.
one.
Yeah.
But it's an untitled film in 2020, which I'm just like, oh, I want to know what that is. I don't even-
How much more exciting is that?
No, but you're right.
Yeah.
Though there is a possible spoiler coming up later in the show that I'm sure you already know about.
I do, but I tried to avoid it so hard.
Yeah.
And then someone
And
tweeted
it's-
it, and I was like,
it's probably not that big of a spoiler, actually. And I've already called it. I already knew that that's what it was.
Yes.
Hey,
Matt
everybody.
Key confirms omnipotent.
Hey, everybody. We're 8 minutes in. We've barely talked about Marvel. I
Yes.
apologize. Let's get
Let's
into
go.
it. Deadpool 2, X-Men Dark Phoenix, New Mutants gets release date. So first of all, Deadpool 2 we knew was coming. The Deadpool 2 release date is June 1st of next year. X-Men Dark Phoenix is November 2nd. Does Marvel have a November film next year? I don't remember.
I feel like they have to.
Well, we have Thor this year.
We've got
Thor's
Thor
this
November
November.
this year. Then next year we've got Black Panther in
When's
February.
Doctor Strange? Is that
There isn't a
2009?
there
isn't
isn't-
a
yeah,
there isn't a
confirmed-
release
okay,
sequel yet
not
for that.
When's Captain Marvel? Summer?
Captain Marvel, I believe, is
Late summer?
No, that's 2019. That's after Infinity War.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's like February, March of 2019.
There's so many timelines.
Yeah,
So
keeping
I
dates
think
in my
it
mind.
goes
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok November this year. Then it goes Black Panther February,
February.
March next
4 months
year.
later, yeah. And then
Then
Infinity.
May 4th is Infinity Gauntlet or
Right. The first-
Infinity War.
The first one of the
but there
two.
might be a second one. I think it might be Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I don't think it comes out next year. I think it comes out in 2019. Anyway,
This is us without the internet, folks. We're hoping. We're piecing it together. We're trying to figure it out.
but you should be
Okay.
impressed that we have this all memorized. Be impressed by me. Validate me. Anyway, I don't know if it's going up against anything, but it is interesting that New Mutants comes out in April.
Yes.
And here's what's weird about it, and I know that they talked about this on Screen Junkies, but New Mutants, no cast announced yet. we know the director. We know that they've been working on the script for like 2.5 years, and Josh Boone is a massive X-Men and New Mutants fan. Like he, when he first got the job, he was tweeting out pictures of my collection from when I was a kid. It wasn't like I went and got this stuff. It was
Tom Holland
I
as a
had
director.
this stuff. Yeah.
Be like, guess what? Dreams come true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dreams do come true, kids. Follow your dreams, stay off drugs. But yeah, it's
He's a
weird.
90s sports coach, too.
Yeah, apparently. Drink your milk.
Gatorade,
A-team. the fool.
But why New Mutants first? What do you think that is? What do you think's going on?
I think they might lay some groundwork for Cable. I think maybe post-credit scene New Mutants is Cable, so they get some little time to prep. Because we've talked about how dense Cable is, like how much story they have to tell. I also think it's interesting that Deadpool's getting a summer release. Because we saw how well it did when it was a clean
February,
slate.
yeah.
Like when he had no competition, Deadpool just cleaned house.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's great they're trusting Deadpool with a prime summer date. I also think that's why New Mutants first. Because a spring release gives us like spring break for kids out of high school.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
you get more of the young audience. There's less competition. So I think it's literally a studio choice.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, it
You
sounds
got-
smart. I mean,
Yeah.
all of that adds up. It
Yeah,
really
I agree.
does.
So, which New Mutant? What you get one? Which
Okay.
one do you want to see? Sorry to put you on the
I
spot.
only get one.
I only got one New Mutant. The crazy black hair, the one that like is half robot.
Who,
He
Warlock?
speaks in, yes, thank you.
Yeah, Warlock's awesome.
Warlock's
Yeah.
mine. That's what I
Yeah.
want. He speaks in different font. I
I'm
love
going to
that.
say either Cannonball or Magic. I'm going to have a hard time choosing between
I
the
forgot
two.
Cannonball was.
I forgot
but-
Cannonball was one.
I was
If one
thinking
of you
his
wants to
X
claim
Factor.
Cannonball, then I'll claim Magic.
I know he's cute and southern, but nah.
No, not Cannonball. Oh man, I love Cannonball.
Sticking with Warlock,
Yeah.
but Cannonball second for me.
Yeah, Sam Guthrie, and you got to get the
great.
Guthries in there.
And then you get Husk.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the,
Oh, Husk.
is that yours?
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
I love Husk.
I like Husk.
We'll take Husk. Even I don't know that was she ever a New Mutant or was she Generation X?
I think she was Generation X, then X Factor later in the game, and I
but
also
we'll still take her because she's
Yeah.
a Guthrie.
and how creepy her fact powers would be on like
That's
in
like-
video, just like
it's
ripping her.
Yeah,
insane.
it's real gross.
It's gonna be good.
It's like Venom,
just like
but with actual
snakes.
skin.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. I like her and I like Dust, but I don't think.
I want
Dust-
damage
don't think
control
Dust
just
is a
No,
new
Dust
mutant.
isn't
She's
a
not a
mutant,
new
yeah.
I want people just
mutant.
picking up the sheds of like Husk. And just like I want that scene.
So gross. And the other interesting thing, do we want to see a new Dark Phoenix movie?
Yes.
No.
Oh, interesting. I want to hear both.
Fight.
I want to hear both. We need to move on, but real quick.
They've tried and they've failed twice, and they've also like that doesn't. I don't like the current trying to soft reboot this cast. I don't like that they haven't just restarted. You need actors and characters you care about throughout time to give a Dark Phoenix any meaning. We've met Sophie Turner once. I wasn't that invested in that portrayal, so when she turns dark, I'm gonna be like, well, look at all this meh.
Time. Markia.
I think for precisely those reasons is why we do need it, because they're going to learn from their mistakes. We're going to have an awesome new Dark Phoenix, specifically because they want to make the kind of money and prestige they did with Logan, but they're going to start it from the ground floor so that they can have a trilogy just with her.
Can you give me 2 examples of Bryan Singer learning from his mistakes? Because I've been looking for him.
Bryan Singer's not necessarily directing this.
But he's involved. It's his X-Men.
I actually don't think he is.
I would love if it's
I
a
actually
new
don't think he
team,
is.
and
I think it is.
I want everything first class. But we'll see.
All right, Deadpool 2. We also have confirmation that Blind Owl will be returning.
Yes.
Leslie Uggams, is that her name? I believe Leslie.
Sure.
I know it's Uggams.
I love Days of Future
guess.
Past. That said,
Yeah. All right, let's move
Yeah.
on to the Black Panther
Well,
news.
Oh, okay.
No,
No,
go
just
ahead.
like for those that don't know, Blind Owl was Deadpool's roomie.
She was
It
awesome.
like really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where
And she's blind.
he skis out
crotchety.
with his baby hand.
Oh.
that scene.
the IKEA scene. I'm so glad when they announced her coming back because that was
Yeah.
so much of the heart of the film.
Yeah, it really
that was
was.
so
And I would
cute.
like to see a lot more of the two of them together and learn about that.
Yeah.
Because, like, in the comics,
fun
it's such a
dynamic.
weird dynamic. I would love to see that. All right, Black Panther wraps up production.
They did it! It's done! People have seen it! People have seen like parts of it, like raw footage with like CGI, but it doesn't even need it because it's done. They managed it.
This is why we love Markia.
It's a thing. It's a thing now. It's like
It
we're gonna see
exists.
trailers.
It's gonna
Yes.
happen next year.
Exactly. Well, we're gonna see a
Comic-Con.
trailer
Yeah.
at summer. We're gonna see it. Oh, please,
There was
Comic
a
Con. We're gonna
martini,
see a trailer.
a
We're
martini
gonna see a
shot
trailer.
happened for you. There was a last shot.
You need to
I
do
left in a
okay.
case.
You need to do a reaction video when you watch the trailer.
When the trailer finally hits, yeah.
Do that. It's just
I'm
me
te-
screaming at my computer.
I'm telling you, we'll see footage at Comic Con this year. Like,
Yes,
we'll see footage. I'll try to sneak something for you if I'm there. Do you want to say anything else? Oh, hold on. There we go. We've got the picture. Chadwick Boseman tweeted it out. We did it. Wakanda forever. Black Panther.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there they are.
Oh, so much excellence.
Oh,
So
man,
much excellence.
I can't wait. I really cannot wait. That's going to be one of the best movies.
It's just, oh my god. And someone shared a Vulture article with me. I'm sorry, I'm not forgetting your name right now. I'll retweet you though. And it's just like if you weren't hyped up enough about it, it was like all this other stuff was like, we have this incredibly stellar cast. Feige is just like fanboying out over Black Panther, and I just like can't get enough.
The fact that they showed dailies to the press.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's some faith.
Ooh.
Like that's some faith. I was talking to a few friends a couple days ago, and they were pointing out. I don't know. Actually, I maybe shouldn't tell the story because it's going to make it sound like I'm like downing on
Gabrielle
WB, and I'm
McNeil
not.
was the Vulture article. Thank you, Gabrielle.
Oh,
Thank you, Gabrielle. I don't want to poop all over Warner Brothers, but there is a difference in how Marvel and Warner Brothers handles their stuff in a lot of ways. Where Marvel's like, yeah, come to our office. Look at how we do everything. Here's our dailies for this movie that we did. Hopefully, you guys like it. Is that cool? Does that like? But like, maybe that's not fair because they had a set visit for Justice League. Maybe that's not fair.
You know what I'd like?
Maybe I'm just being a Marvel fanboy.
The Warner Brothers lot tour, if Marvel had anything like that, I would go every day.
Yeah,
Warner Brothers, like,
I would
when
work
you're walking
there.
in, yeah, I'd like
I
literally
would work there. Yeah,
That's one thing Warner Brothers has on us by a lot. Because
Yeah.
walking in there and seeing the bat suits, you're like, whoa.
that is
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
That is pretty cool.
I mean, but it's
You know what?
Batman.
I take it all back. I take it all back.
You know.
Pros, cons.
Pros, cons. I take it all back. I'm a jerk. All right, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel found their directors.
Yes.
Directors.
A dual team.
The Mississippi Grind team of Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck will helm the movie. Let's see here. The decision to hire Boden and Fleck reportedly comes after several meetings between Marvel Studios execs and the directing duo. And their vision was impressive. They also did Half Nelson, Mississippi Grind, The Affair, and they've directed episodes of Billions.
You know what's amazing? Both Half Nelson and Mississippi Grind.
I've never seen either one, but I've heard amazing things about
I see a lot of
Half Nelson.
movies.
Yeah, these two are completely in my blind spot.
Yep.
Have not seen
Yep.
a single thing that they've directed.
And I've been too busy watching Fast and Furious over the weekend
As you should.
to like. Usually, if I were to come up against something like this and be like, you know what, I know nothing about them, I should watch one of these films before my show. I would do that, but we were like stuck in the Fast and Furious.
So you
hole
see,
this
Monday
weekend.
through Friday, I see new movies. Friday through Sunday, I watch Fast and Furious. And I just live my life. That's just every weekend for all the time.
That's his week.
That's just forever,
That's
you
the
guys.
week of Cole.
That's what
I
I
mean,
call Saturday.
Fate of the Furious is just what you do.
Yeah.
But I actually saw Mississippi Grind not just for Ryan Reynolds because of Half Nelson. Like, I'm as big a fan that I actually sought out Mississippi
Yeah.
Grind, which was only playing in like one house. They're both incredible. They're both really nuanced, subtle films. Like, they deal with very, very abstract. Or Half Nelson's such an abstract theme. The movie's so wonky, but they handled so normally. Like, Ryan Gosling's in love with a sex doll and like presents it as his girlfriend and lives in this small town with
Wait,
this.
no, that's
I mean, Half
Lars.
Nelson's the
That's
drug.
Lars and the.
Sorry,
and
they came out around the same time.
Lars and the
Half
dog.
Nelson's
Lars
I
and the
saw
Road
that
Girl, yeah.
one.
That one's great.
Yeah, that was good.
Half Nelson's the one where Ryan Gosling's a teacher in a school dealing with like a drug epidemic, and he's also a drug addict. And he's trying to convince kids not to be like him, but also is real good.
Nice. Well, nuance would be good with the Captain Marvel movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's one of the things they're saying. So, one of the first things I thought of when I was like, oh my God, Captain Marvel director, this is amazing. Who is it? And then it was a team. I was like, oh, cool, it's a team. And then I saw that there was a dude involved, and I was like, oh no, Marvel's going to get so much backlash for this is their first female-driven hero movie. And they wanted to have a female director, but now they have a female director and a male director. Like, I was like, oh man, like this isn't good. Like, this is bad PR for
gonna be like
Marvel
Joss
in a
Whedon
lot of ways.
Batgirl.
Yeah,
exactly.
But instead, it's one of those great dynamics of what we actually want, where it's balanced, where
Yeah.
both voices are, holding each other up and, complimenting each other in different
Yeah.
ways, which is what we want.
Yeah,
we don't
exactly.
want a whole lot of one and not a whole lot
a
of the other.
whole lot of the others. So
Exactly.
here's what Kevin Feige, Kevin, Kevin,
Yeah.
we're good
Kevs.
friends. Kev,
K-Feige.
F dog,
We've all just failed at nicknames
the
here.
Feig dog,
He's not like C Tates.
Yeah.
C Tate,
We're not as close as they are to Che Tates.
Che Tate.
Che Tates.
So here's what he told Fandango. We met lots and lots of people, as we always do, and had multiple meetings, and Anna and Ryan just had an amazing way of talking about Carol Danvers and talking about her journey. We want filmmakers that can help us focus and elevate the character journey so it doesn't get lost amongst the spectacle, and there's going to be a lot of spectacle in the Captain Marvel film, but Here's the second part of the quote. When we're filling a director chair or chairs, we want people who are focused on the emotional journey, the humor, the surprising twists and turns of a singular character journey, which is what Captain Marvel is. They had the best handle on it, and when you look at the work that Ryan and Anna have done in the past, they are amazing and very diverse character studies and journeys, and that impressed us. And I'm sold. I'm sold. I wanted to have like just one female director. Like I was like, yeah, it's time for that. It's time for that to happen. But you know what? Like, if this is what they think is the best for the character and is going to service the character best and help that shine, I'm all for it. So I trust in them.
Their last two films are incredible. You should, but after you're done fasting and furiousing, I definitely recommend both of them. They're really good. So that's all that matters to me is one, my trust in Marvel, and the past director's work is what I look at. And I agree. I'd love to have. My goal is to have a female director handle the Avengers. I want to have. That's what I want to see it get to a point where it's like it doesn't matter what the movie is. It doesn't matter what everything is. I just want to see these things, and we'll get there.
Nice.
So the fact that
just takes time.
it just takes, which is sad, but
Like
where we
water on a mountain.
eroding
Whittle it
away.
down.
Yeah.
Whittle it down, Marquio. Whittle it down. All right. Speaking of Captain Marvel, it is set to begin filming in February, which makes total sense because it seems like the pattern so often now is that they start shooting 12 to 14 months before release, and she's set to release in like February, March of 2019.
March
so,
8th, 2019.
March when?
8th.
There you go. Thank you, Ollie. Ollie on the computer. So yeah, anyway, Feige said, assuming everything stays on schedule, we start filming Captain Marvel in February. Let's jump over to Ant-Man and the Wasp. So the Wasp is getting a big role in Ant-Man 2, and filming is going to begin this summer. Maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out next year. I don't know. Ollie, would you double check?
Maybe that's
sure
the one in November?
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
maybe
it
that
does.
comes out
I think
like-
it's summer 2018.
Is this next summer, like an August picture or a July?
It is
Yeah.
July 6th.
Ha ha! Yeah.
Scott Fitzgerald, I agree. They should hand Iron Fist to Lexi Alexander.
Oh my God!
Oh
yes.
my God, that
1,000
would be
times
so
over. Yes.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
So much
saying.
better. It's like, okay, just real quick. It's because they went. Sorry.
Take it,
Sorry.
Marcia. Take it.
They went through this arduous process to finally decide on this duo of directors for Captain Marvel. I just wish that the television aspect would take as much care with their showrunners. And
I
don't-
agree.
I don't have a lot to base that on besides Iron Fist, and I haven't seen Inhumans. I don't know how that's going to be yet.
Not a lot of
You
people
know?
have seen it.
So I'm basing this purely on gut reaction
I
that I wish
would-
that they had been.
I would
bit
say I
more-
agree with you, but I would say that Marvel Television feels like they're probably doing very well vetting the directors. I think the rest of us,
strong.
yeah, I think the rest of us are going, maybe not this one.
Might
Yeah,
be 3
the
or 5
rest of
soon
us,
after Inhumans.
the rest
but
of us are going Wolverine Origins.
Yeah. So anyway,
can't always be winning.
The Wasp is getting a bigger role in Ant-Man 2. Let's see. Peyton Reed told Collider, "For me, as a comic nerd, I always thought of Ant-Man as of Ant-Man and the Wasp as a team, and that's a lot of what the second movie is really about, is how they work together, what their personal and professional relationships are like. To show her finally fully formed in this movie is really exciting. We really get to introduce this character into that universe. So yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of her in the past and stuff like that as a character, but now we get to see her as the Wasp fighting alongside the Ant-Man, and I don't know. I'm excited.
So what they're saying is this whole movie won't be them describing why she's better at the job and then not doing it.
Yep.
Because I feel like the first one did a lot of describing when she was better at the
So
job.
they're gonna show us, not tell us. Then
Yes.
I'd like that. I'd
yes,
like that.
I would like that too.
This
I would
movie
like
sounds
that too.
good. I like this
cool.
movie.
And Feige said, assuming everything stays on schedule, we start filming Ant-Man and the Wasp in June. So he told that to me. I called him. I was like, "Hey man, when are you gonna film this thing? I'm really interested."
June,
Yeah.
Matt.
He's like, "Well, you know,
Nice.
Matt, assuming everything stays on schedule,
be good.
June."
He,
he was
didn't
like,
call you. He texted you.
You're right. You're
way
right.
closer.
We're not quite call buddies.
yeah, he was like, "K Feig dog out,
KF out.
KF."
All right, let's
Kster.
This is the one episode someone at Marvel watches, and
Oh,
they're just
no.
like, they're just like,
This
what
doesn't
are-
represent
What
us
are they
at all.
talking about?
This
Who's
totally
K-Fag
represents us.
dog?
Who's Feig Dog? That sounds awful.
It's uncomfortable.
Don't
for
show
everyone
Kevin
involved.
this. He'll hate this.
When
He'll
I
call
hear,
in a drone strike
when
on
I
those
hear
guys.
that, it makes
Lawsuits
me think of.
flood in.
Do you remember Poochie? when it's like Feig dog.
Feig
Oh,
Dog.
Itchy
Like
and
Poochie
Scratchy
from- yeah.
and Poochie show.
Yeah. The end of that episode. All right, we don't have time for me to reminisce about how good that is. Goodbye.
continue.
I flew to my home planet. Poochie died on the way there. Oh man. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana teased the Avengers and the Guardians' first meeting by saying, "We're also in space, so we're not being held by gravity, and we're stronger." Basically, in space is
Yeah.
what she's saying. So here's what I find interesting about that. The first time they meet the Avengers, they're in space, which means that the Avengers have left Earth
And are in
space.
And are in space.
And I always, in my head, it was the other way around.
right. They'd land on Earth.
Like,
and then,
Guardians were like, oh my god, Thanos is going for Earth. They're going for Terran. That's your home, Peter Quill. We better
head
go
on
back
over.
there and save the friends that you haven't seen since 1988. And hopefully,
that's a huge leak. You're right.
Yeah.
So,
and think about it. That there are a lot of characters that encompass the Avengers now. All of them are going to space.
I don't think it's all of them. I think that the
Yeah.
Avengers that they first meet are in space. Most likely, like Iron Man.
Has to be.
It's got to be Iron Man.
gotta be Iron Man.
Maybe Black Panther because Wakanda would have the technology for that. I even think that it's Stark Tech and Wakanda Tech that creates the Quinjets when they first start taking off into space and everything. So at least in the comics.
It's gonna be Hulk on his way back.
Yeah, Hulk and Thor on their way back, and they
really
run into
swinging
each
by.
other.
Yeah, he's really angry.
Yeah.
Just driving his little jet still. They just cut out Ragnarok the whole time. He's just been driving his
it's
little
just
jet. Gotta figure it out. you guys.
It looks like me in a Volkswagen, just like. So yeah. Anyway, I thought that was.
That's
I thought that
super
was cool.
interesting.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Because in my head it was always Guardians come back, they land on Earth, and Iron Man's like, "Who the F are you guys?" And they're like, "We're the Guardians of the Galaxy." And he's like, "Who?" And that can still happen, but now it's apparently
Yeah.
happening in space, and it's apparently kind of an
Maybe
actual
it's-
confrontation,
Yeah.
on par with when Thor and Iron Man first met in the Avengers. That scene in the forest where they
So
decimated.
the Civil War
Right.
scenes.
Yeah.
We got Guardians versus Avengers. Yes.
Yeah, apparently.
maybe there's a whole thing with Tony Stark and I was about to say Chad Boseman with Black Panther,
Yeah.
T'Challa, where maybe they have a space station of some kind. Maybe that's how it happens. But when I saw this quote, I was all like, "Oh, Infinity Watch."
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe is
That's-
Gamora going to be holding that time stone anytime soon?
Ooh, that would be cool. That
Or,
would be cool.
depending, if that's their first meeting, it doesn't mean that that's the first part of the movie. That could
Yeah.
be way later on,
Yeah.
for all we know.
Yeah, or it could be an after credit scene.
And they're filming them separately now, so it's who knows.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Part 1 and 2 are filming separately, which is crazy to me.
Well,
So
we're going to talk about
that's
that.
renegotiating contracts.
We're going to talk about that. But first, let's talk about the fact that Adam Warlock will not appear in Infinity War.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of background that I need to give on this. First of all, Scott Derrickson mentioned that there was a character that was originally in the Guardians scripts, but then got cut out. But he was in the first draft. He was a major part of the first draft.
James Gunn?
James Gunn was saying this. Yeah. Did I
Yeah.
say it
You
wrong?
said Scott Derrickson. I was very confused about Scott
Sorry,
reading the script.
I saw
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
He's on the
down
Doctor
here.
Strange set, and he's like, I'm just
I'm
going to
like-
read the script real quick.
Hey, you're wrong with this
Where's
character. Get him
Warlock?
out of here. I've never heard of this gentleman before. Warlock?
What are you doing,
Sounds
Gunn?
evil. Get him out. Yeah, that's a great impression of Scott Derrickson.
But remember, it was confirmed who the huge character was. Howard the Duck. I'm kidding.
I was like,
Did
wait,
you
what?
look at me for real?
I was like, wait, what are you talking about? I was like, no. I was like, baby,
No,
Howard the Duck was in the
no.
first Guardians. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
no, it's Howard the Duck. I tried to watch it over the weekend. It's horrible.
Oh,
Don't do
yeah,
that.
it's
It's really bad.
don't sully your brain with that.
Yeah, but continue.
So James Gunn revealed that Adam Warlock was initially in the Guardians 2 script, and then he said he was a major part. Then he went on to say he will be a major part of the Marvel Cosmic Universe moving forward. And then a lot of people assumed, oh my God, Infinity War. And Kevin Feige and James Gunn were like, no. He's not in Infinity War. But then they said, but he will be a part of the future Marvel Cosmic Universe and a pretty important part of that. And that's from James Gunn.
Infinity Watch
Infinity Watch.
has to be.
So here's the question. Does he show up in either one of the he's not Infinity War. Does he show up in the fourth film? Or are they saving him for Guardians 3 and kicking off the Marvel Cosmic Universe in Marvel Phase 4?
I feel like Guardians 3. I feel like that's part of why James Gunn signed on.
Yeah.
I feel like him, the timing of him not being able
Yeah.
to use him, it being convoluted, him signing on for part 3. I feel like James Gunn has a very strong part 3 script,
Specific,
and
yeah.
that is the use of that character. I feel like he's probably one of the leads of part 3.
Sure.
So I think he's reshaping his part 2 to be more like part 3, so the second one's not all convoluted. Because
Sure.
sequelitis is the biggest problem that movies have, so we don't
Yeah.
want part
Right.
2 to feel crazy.
Yeah.
And we find out like in days.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
You
find
guys
out.
find out so
There's-
soon.
I'll find out Thursday night, and you'll find out tomorrow night.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
seeing it
you're
tomorrow
seeing
night.
it tomorrow night. I'm seeing it Thursday night
And I'm
And-
seeing it with the populace.
with my lovely wife. Well, maybe you shouldn't be going out of town.
Maybe live
So-
my life.
Yeah, Ollie and I are seeing it tomorrow night.
Maybe you shouldn't have a girlfriend that does awesome things for you.
How dare you have a life? You're trying to build a life.
You fool!
What?
You fool!
Need to focus on the galaxy.
Yeah,
Um,
but think of that third one. I mean, I keep on saying it, but if they went Infinity Watch,
So
that
let's
totally makes sense.
We've,
Warlock.
we've both brought up Infinity Watch a couple times. Do you want
Right.
to explain a little bit about it? What the Infinity Watch is from the comics?
Sure, I mean it's not a spoiler because it's from the
It's not a-
comics. Who knows? It's
from
gonna,
the comics.
such and such.
1993, 94, something like that. Yeah.
So when Thanos is taken down and the Infinity Gauntlet is then like the stones are taken apart, Adam Warlock, he uses the empty Infinity Gauntlet to purge his like the whole Magus thing. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not going to go into that part. So just the Infinity Stones itself, they get separated, and then those stones are given to people that would utilize them the least. So therefore, they would be a really good guardian for it. For instance, Gamora gets the Time Stone because she just consciously won't tap into its power as much. She only just she has a thing for Warlock, Adam, at that point. So she just kind of sees like, oh, he's going to be in trouble. Let me go save him.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. There's other people that get one.
There's Drax,
Maxim, Moondragon.
Moondragon, Pip the Troll.
I think she gets the Mind Stone. Does she get the Mind Stone?
I don't remember.
I
off
think
the
she
top of
gets
my
the
head.
Mind Stone. Yeah, Pip the Troll.
I think Pip the Troll is gifted the Space Stone.
I know
I think
that-
he gets the Space Stone and
Doesn't
develops
he
the power of
keep
transportation.
keep it in his butt or something?
Keeps it in his toes.
Okay.
I
That's
believe.
totally the wrong
It's
premise.
a very different
Totally
movie.
the wrong premise.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a crevice.
If it's-
You were close.
Yeah.
It's a series of beads.
Oh no! I didn't mean it like that.
Get
Marvel
out.
is watching. Marvel
Stop.
is watching.
This is
Stop,
the episode,
boy.
you guys.
Coy. Oh, man. You can't. Coy. You broke me, man. You broke me.
Drax gets one.
Drax gets one.
In fact, he eats it.
Probably.
Yeah.
That makes sense for Drax at that time.
So.
He was not a very clever character at that point. He was
Mm-hmm.
basically like Space Hulk minus the personality.
Yeah.
So I lost my child and my wife, and I hate Thanos. Let me punch him some more. Like, that was basically it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think it would be awesome if we got Infinity Watch, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Scarlet Witch and Vision spotted on set kissing.
Before we move on to that,
Kissing. Yeah.
there is a New Mutants correction from Twitter from
Oh.
Jonathan Peck. Thank you. We forgot that Nat Wolff was cast as Cannonball.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Remember, like,
Oh right, and
like,
Maisie Williams is
No,
Wolfsbane.
Maisie Williams.
Wolfsbane.
She was
that was the
rumored.
rumor.
Oh, she
Nat
wasn't
Wolff,
cast?
I thought he
I
was
thought-
I thought he was rumored. I didn't think he was actually cast.
And Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic was a rumor.
That was a rumor too.
Okay.
I thought Jess, Nat Wolff, and Chris, they'd work together. So there are rumors of
There are
cast.
rumors,
We're not
yeah.
100% sure, but
There's-
Nat Wolff
there's-
is the closest to maybe being. But yeah, so thank you, Jonathan Peck. But we don't think everything is locked yet.
Yeah.
And is that
interesting,
Nat
though.
Wolff and the X-Men series, or is that the movie? 'Cause
Nat
there's
Wolff.
an X-Men series, and there was rumor that
Oh.
Cannonball was involved in that.
Right. Hopefully there's some crossover. Anyway, I want
There will not be, but that's okay.
But continuing
We can
forward.
dream. Scarlet Witch and Vision, thank you for the correction, though, and you know, we'll figure that out. Scarlet Witch and Vision spotted on set kissing, and that just, that allows me to just say, I told you.
Yeah, but
'Cause I
but
called that, like, 3
look-
weeks ago.
Look at how Vision looks, though.
Yeah, but
look
right?
at how Vision looks.
But that Vision dough, right?
right?
That Vision
Right?
dough.
That Vision dough. He a Vision dough. So it is apparent that the Vision, at least it's apparent in these pictures to us, if we interpret him at face value, it is apparent that the Vision figures out a way to manipulate his appearance so that he does not always appear purple and green.
Right.
It's not easy being green.
He was okay.
Here. I call the order. So I think that they are building this up so that this could be spoiler-ish, but since he's got the Mind Stone,
right.
build this up, then kill him.
Yeah, and then that's when
Aw.
Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive
come in and they steal the Mind
They're
Stone
like,
from the
guess what
Vision.
we're digging out of that forehead?
Yeah, give us that Mind Stone, bro.
Yeah.
And he was talking about not being sure if he'd ever come back to Marvel, so I imagine he's on a more like 1-to-1 basis. So killing him makes sense contract wise.
Yeah.
And he's like Superman, where like the amount of powers he has is
Yeah.
a bit overwhelming, so it's hard
Yeah.
to use them.
Yep.
Yeah, and then plus he can lift Thor's hammer, but that's a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody saw that
that's a
leaked
debate.
page.
That's a
yeah.
debate.
And Paul Bettany's 2 hands.
Although I've got a theory about that,
Oh,
but
well,
that's not what
that's
we
not
have right now.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's that news. They get in a relationship at some point. I don't know what that has to do with her being Team Cap and him being Team Stark, but
Interesting. I hadn't even thought of that, yeah. And then he goes on to announce many night fights after this scene. The joust.
the joust. But I do think, yeah, you know what? Are we getting okay? I'm gonna hold off on that for a second. Okay. Avengers 3 and 4 are not filming at the same time. Feige talking to Collider again. We're doing them one right after another. It became too complicated to cross-board them like that, and we found ourselves. Something would always pay the price. We wanted to be able to focus and shoot one movie and then focus and shoot another movie. So, what he means by that is, I did a little digging into what has been said about Infinity War in the past. I read so many quotes last week trying to prep for all this. And one of the things that the Russos said before production had even started was that Infinity War is very similar to that movie Nashville, the Altman film Nashville, where it's it's a one whole story but told from various perspectives.
Right.
I think what's going on is, so we've heard Thanos is a main character, not an antagonist, but a main character in this film, right? It's told from his perspective in
Yeah,
some
well, he's the
capacity.
protagonist in all of his own stories.
Exactly, but like for the purposes of our story, he's an
Yeah.
antagonist because
Yeah.
he's not the hero and he's not the person that we're necessarily rooting for unless you're, I don't know, a sadist or something. At which point, yeah, go Thanos. So they said that it's a bit like Nashville, where it's filmed from a lot of different perspectives. So here's what I think is going on. This film, and that's why this leak title makes sense to me. And we've kind of bandied around this before. This film is Thanos' quest, and this is Thanos sending out his generals to go get all damn stones from all the heroes who are guarding them. So he sends out Ebony Maw to Doctor Strange to convince him to give him the Time Stone. So that's the Doctor Strange vignette, and like we'll see it like paced in with all the other stories as all the other generals are trying to get their stones, and all those stories are told from those various perspectives. But I think that's what's going on. And then in the meantime, Thanos is manipulating everything from behind the scenes, maybe like flirting with Death or Hela, whoever it is, because we've also been told that his motives in this film are similar to his motives in Infinity Gauntlet, the first book, the book that this is all based on.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is going on. And then I think at the end of that film, he gets all of the stones. I think the Avengers actually all lose in this movie.
Okay. I
think that's what
okay
happens.
with that.
Yeah.
Because
what a
it's kind of
cliffhanger.
like,
Yeah, that's how you get people to come back a year later and watch the next movie and make $1 billion again.
So but here's the trip to that. I don't know that Brolin is contracted for Avengers 4.
He'd have to be.
He doesn't. I actually looked it up. I looked up like 3 or 4 different websites who were all like, we actually don't think he does.
Okay.
Based on previous reports and stuff like that.
But I can't imagine Marvel would risk that.
Yeah.
Unless the 4th story has nothing to do with Thanos, but it does have to do with so like think of it like it's a nuclear arms race. Like America has the Manhattan Projects, they create a nuclear bomb, then share it with their allies. All of a sudden, we've got nuclear powers and the world goes into a Cold War, right?
Right.
So if if Thanos gets defeated in the Infinity War, the Infinity Gauntlet still exists.
Yeah.
So now there's a mad dash for the briefcase, for the football.
Right.
Yeah. And we don't have Adam Warlock to.
We don't have
grab
Adam
hold of
Warlock
that.
to grab hold of it. So who grabs it? Where's it go? Like does Nebula? So like
Yeah.
So here's the other thing, and this is possible spoiler, so just be careful listening through this area right here. Just skip on to the next subject if you don't want any. Spoy! Spoy!
Boys are the worst.
Watch out! Spoys! Spoy! 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 I don't know where that is the most ADD thing I've ever done. Spoy! 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 Noises! Off topic!
Matt's still lost in his own brain.
Thunderstorm, Dingo, and the baby.
You and your Simpsons today. You're killing it with this. So again, possible spoiler alert. Just be careful listening through here, through this entire Infinity War talk. Zoe Saldana, in a talk with, I believe, a reporter from The Guardian, was talking about the filming schedule, and she said that she believes that the Guardians are done filming for Infinity War, and then they'll be back later this year to film Gauntlet. That's basically her exact quote. We'll be back later this year to film Gauntlet, and then that's it.
Oh, Zoe.
Can you imagine having all of that information
Zoe.
bouncing around your head, and at some point it's gonna slip? Like at
At some point it's
if
gonna
you
slip.
know something,
Yeah,
but man,
so-
can you imagine how bad you'd feel?
So
Zoe.
yeah, and I felt immediately. I was like, ooh. So here now, it's possible that Gauntlet's just the working title.
Right.
Entirely possible, and like
It's
because
even
Marvel.
logical.
That's
Marvel-
weird though.
It is, but here's the like Marvel is so careful. Like I've heard that like the Guardians will only get their script pages. They won't get the entire script. Like Chris Pratt hasn't read all of Infinity
Yeah,
War.
and Tom Holland only gets Spider-Man pages.
Yeah, exactly. So it's entirely possible that they haven't even shared the title of the movie with them, except to say
For
the
reasons like
working
this.
title is Gauntlet. That's all you need to know. So that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
However, I can also see the other side of it where Thanos gets defeated in Infinity War. Yay, Avengers won. Now they've got this giant, massive problem to handle with the Infinity Gauntlet, which would make sense to call it Avengers Infinity Gauntlet. What the F do we do with this? Like, we didn't even know these stones existed. Not necessarily, not in the capacity that, like,
Not that
Thor-
they could be collected
not
into
that they could be
something.
collected and form a deity. Like,
Yeah.
now it's like, oh my god, I can be a god?
Do you
Like...
think, do you think Living Tribunal might get involved then?
I think it is entirely possible that we're going to see all of those like those giant infinite beings.
Would that be an
show up.
interesting movie for most people?
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean that's a
mean?
An
little.
Infinity Gauntlet, abstract, like deep, like cosmic Marvel. Like, would it be interesting for people to watch an argument over a powerful object
Yeah, I
with?
mean,
It's not gonna-
That's a bit Portal in the Sky-esque. You know? Do you know what I mean?
I do, but that's kind of what we have. Like
Yeah.
that's what Marvel's been leading up to. Marvel's been leading up to giant Infinity Gauntlet. It can decimate the universe. What do we do?
Yeah.
You know, like giant portal in the sky, be damned. It's like giant portal in the middle of the universe now. Like, what do we do? You know, so
Yeah. Well, the thing that I like
the
with
stakes
Doctor
are almost a little
Strange-
too large. You
The
know,
thing I
That's-
like with
yeah.
Doctor
Yeah.
Strange is that they were like, "Cool, there's a portal in the sky. Let's go in it." You know, that's
Yeah.
You know, and then like Avengers did.
and
that
let's
too.
shut it down and like
You know.
but like they kind of came at it from a different angle and everything, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's what everyone's trying to do, but because everyone's a little tired of the portal in the sky thing. I don't know, I'm saying it feels to me that makes sense to me, is that like all of a sudden you have, or Thanos resets the universe at the end of Infinity War,
That I could see working as more of a
you
narrative.
know, and
Yeah.
then so like maybe he resets maybe it goes off into like this House of M or Age of Apocalypse, like pocket universe kind of
Talk
thing.
about a reboot.
And now in House of M, one of the great things about House of M were there were two characters who knew that was the wrong reality: Wolverine and Layla Miller, who just knows stuff. Her power was that she just knows stuff. I love that character so
Yeah.
much. Now I doubt that Marvel has the rights to use Layla Miller, since she was mostly an X-Men character, mostly featured in X Factor, whatever else. But who cares? Like that's beside the point. I'm just saying, like, it's entirely possible that like maybe Thanos uses it to reset the universe and create an alternate reality and get everyone. He's like, look, I'm not going to kill you, but you can't exist here, so pocket realm. Or
The Beyonder comes in at the end, and we get Secret Wars.
that would also be amazing.
Because that would be cosmic, that would be space, that would be huge, that would be... how do you follow up Infinity
Battle
War?
World.
Yeah.
Secret War's the only way you can follow up Infinity War.
And Marvel set the precedent for using Secret War to completely reset their universe, and
Which
that
would
would
make sense for all
that
the
would-
contract
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, and that would spin out Phase 4. Yeah,
Options.
whatever the Infinity War, whatever happens in Infinity War is going to have to spin off.
Into the next whatever
Into the
it is.
next whatever
And
it
that's
is.
why I'm
Yeah.
glad we don't know what those titles are, because I don't want to go into Avengers 4 with the knowledge of the next 5 movies, because then I'm not as excited. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like a
I get
prequel
that.
problem.
Well, and like I think it was safe to say, here's what movies are coming leading up to Infinity War,
Right.
because we already knew Thanos existed. We already knew he was the big bad. We don't know who the next big bad is,
Right.
or if there will even be one.
And if they announce Iron Man 4, just throwing an example out there, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying, if they announce Iron Man 4, then I know Iron Man survives. And I don't want that. I want to go into this,
Oh, right.
you know what I mean? It becomes a prequel problem with every single movie.
I don't
Sure.
know. It could be Untitled Iron Man, and it's actually Ironheart.
Well,
Oh, that would be
and that
cool.
is a great
Possible.
option, but I still,
Yeah,
like,
but
the
still.
less we know, the better for
Yeah.
that option.
Yeah.
Well, we need to move on. But
so good.
I will. What
Like
is?
that?
Invincible Iron Man, like that
Invincible
Ironheart
Iron
book is so good.
Yeah.
got
Scott
nuance.
Derrickson is likely to return for Doctor Strange 2. There's nothing there except Lock and Key got picked up as a series for
That's
Hulu,
exciting.
which is great. If you've never read that comic, it's fantastic. Go read it. But it got picked up for series, and Scott Derrickson is directing quite a few of those episodes himself, as well as I think serving as an executive producer. But in that article, they said the site or the director is expected to stay on to the series until it is picked up until he has to move on to Doctor Strange 2. So that's not necessarily confirmation. For all we know, Deadline was making an assumption that he had that film, but they are a very reputable news source.
Yeah.
So if they're saying that, it's very likely that he's already kind of planning on that. Michael Rosenbaum hints at an important role in Guardians Volume 2. Your boy Rosenbaum.
Yeah, Rosenbaum.
So he says, well, I'm in the movie. I can't really say the role I'm playing because James Gunn swore me to secrecy. The role is with Stallone. It's an important one. And I'm just making sure there's nothing else I need to say there. Nope.
Yeah.
That's it.
Alright.
That's it. But
all I need.
But here's what I think, and this is what we've kind of discussed on the show before. I think he's one of the original Guardians from the 31st century and like Marvel
Right.
861 or whatever that universe name was at the time.
Right.
I think he's one of those guys, and I think he'll make an appearance in Guardians 3.
Yeah, I think that's setting up Guardians 3 to be even
Yeah.
wonkier
I think
OG Guardians.
I think it's going to end up being the new Guardians versus the Ravagers.
Yeah.
Like
Cool.
in the third film, and
Right.
that Adam Warlock is going to be somewhere in that.
I kind of like that because then it's like Civil War in space.
Yeah.
And it keeps it separate. Like I like that Gunn has his own little pocket, corner of the Marvel universe, and then they can tie into Infinity, then go back to his pocket.
Speaking of Guardians, this is a story I actually forgot to put in the rundown, but I just now remembered it. So Guardians takes place in 2014. It's the only movie where only Marvel movie where we 100% know the year where that happens. Everything else is kind of like it exists in
Modern times.
Our modern times. Guardians is the only one that's definitively 2014.
Okay.
Guardians 2, according to James Gunn and Kevin Feige, takes place just a couple months after Guardians 1, which puts Guardians 2 still in 2014.
Interesting.
But when they meet the Avengers in Infinity War, it's our current time, which means that there's 4 years of adventures between Guardians 2 and when we see them in Infinity War next year that we don't know about. But James Gunn said, no, but they've been shaped and affected by what's happened in those 4 years.
So what you're saying is it's like
Nice.
Tokyo Drift, and that you have to watch it in the right order to fully grasp the importance.
That is not what I'm
that's
saying.
100%
All I
what he
hear.
just.
That's all
what
I hear.
heard.
That's all I hear is that
I heard.
you gotta watch it.
Matt Scooby Doo Doop.
Yep.
Tokyo Drift.
1,
Great-
2,
great-
4, 5, 6,
great
Tokyo
impression.
Drift. In credit scene 7, Fate of the Furious is what I just heard. That's
There you go.
important.
That's the order.
Listen, man, you ain't in control unless you out of control.
I'm gonna
I
have
live
to
my
watch
life a
those
quarter mile at a
movies.
time. That's all I
Oh
know.
my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch them.
It's not whether you're going to buy inch or mile, winning's winning. Is what we're
Ride
saying.
or,
It's
ride or
what-
die.
Right.
It's
Ride or
what
die.
important.
It's ride or die.
Can have any beer you want as long as it's a Corona. It's what we're really trying to get
Stop.
across.
Stop. Get out. Stop. Get out.
I'm like getting none of this.
Yeah. I'm getting
Not
all of it,
any
and I'm
of
just like, I'm finally getting all of it. Like, it's because Brittany and I just started watching them over the weekend, and we burned through 6
Oh, you
of
thought
them
this
now.
was a street fight?
Yeah. Stop.
Totally lost here.
Stop. Anyway, the timing is interesting on that, and that makes me wonder, when is Guardians 3 going to happen? Like, have they been running away from the Ravagers for 4 years and it's just never caught up to them? Like, so
It's a
that intrigues
big
me.
universe,
It's a
though.
giant universe, but like
Yeah.
they keep running into each other pretty well. So like for 4 years to dodge, like I don't know. Like I'm curious as to how they're going to handle that.
Yeah, you would think Star-Lord would have a tracer somewhere by that point.
Guardians of the Galaxy will be one fluid story, and that's basically what we're talking about. There's a quote here from. Oh man, did I forget to write down who said this? I think it was James Gunn saying this. I think really that there are 3 movies work together as a whole. They're going to tell one story. This is the story of this iteration of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're going to get to know the characters even better in the same way we got to know them much better in this film than the first one. So first one is good. Second one is like a continuation of that story with the Ravagers, Yondu, all that, Nebula. Then this next movie is a continuation of what we learn in Guardians 2, which you'll know tomorrow night and I'll know Thursday night. And I'll be
Yeah.
like, we'll be able to put it together a little bit better. Do you
And
even
on
want to...
next week's show, you'll see Coy openly weep and take off his headphones.
Wait, do you want to miss next week's show? Because
I
we're
might.
probably going to talk about it.
I probably will.
So it might just be the two of us.
Yeah.
Maybe we
and
could
Ollie.
get Alan. I think Alan would see it by
Ooh,
then.
maybe, yeah. Let's
If
talk
Alan's
to
seen
him.
it by then,
Not-
I just
not-
don't.
not
Thanks,
that-
guys.
no.
I'm still here. I can hear you. You're kicking me out on air. It's fine. It's fine. I'll take a week. Personal day.
Let's New Warriors. This is I was very excited about this. This broke like I think last Wednesday morning or something like that. Been sitting on this for a week. Freeform announced all the New Warriors characters for their new series. Dorian Green, we already knew, Squirrel Girl. Powers of a Squirrel, Powers of a Girl. So that made my my lovely wife happy because she's a giant fan of Squirrel Girl. And Tippy Toe goes with her everywhere. That's her pet squirrel, which I was excited. I was like, oh, no, she's always going to have Tippy Toe, and she's going to be having a conversation with that
I
squirrel.
like Tippy Toe confirmed.
The squirrel's going to go chirp, 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 and she's going to go like,
Absolutely.
oh, Tippy Toe.
Adorable.
Yeah, it's going to be great. However, my favorite news out of this is that Mr. Immortal is a part of this, and I love Mr. Immortal. He is the dumbest character because his only power is that he cannot die. Now, that doesn't mean you can't shoot him. You can shoot him all you want. Where, like, if you shoot Deadpool, there's Mr. Immortal's the one in the red shoulders and the red face mask there in that picture. If you shoot Deadpool, he'll feel the pain, but he'll immediately start to regenerate and continue to come at you. If you chop off his head, he's like, oh, this is very inconvenient. And then his body stumbles around until it finds the head, puts the head back on. If you kill Mr. Immortal, he dies. He just comes back to life later. Like it's all of a sudden it's like the injury never happened and he comes back to life, but he wasn't able to do anything. So he rushes into danger and he's like, you can't kill me. Boom, he falls over dead and then comes back to life after the caper's already been pulled. Like he's basically a useless superhero with a pretty incredible power. Like not dying, that's pretty incredible.
It's very cool.
But
in
he can't-
real life.
In
What
real
is-
life, but he can't really be too heroic with it.
That's a really funny use of power. And
Yeah.
like Speedball, like there's just so many weird uses.
So let's go
It's
through
just-
them real quick.
yeah.
He's kind of like the most interesting man alive, except he's more cocky than confident and at times charmingly grumpy. That's Mr. Immortal. Dwayne Taylor, by the way, I should say I'm very proud of myself. I kind of called like, oh, they're probably gonna have Night Thrasher. They're probably gonna have Mr.
You
Immortal.
did. You did. We can vouch.
Yeah, you did.
So
Matt Key confirmed.
Matt Key guessed based on like I was like, this guy could be interesting. This guy not so much, but maybe if they did this, yeah. So I used my old writer brain and figured
Matt
it
Key,
out.
educated guest. You heard it here first.
Stop it. Oh, there's Tippy Toe in that picture there.
Yeah,
Tippy Toe,
like
I'm a squirrel.
Right there in the front.
So Dwayne Taylor, Night Thrasher, doesn't have a superpower. We've already talked about him. He's basically just like a football padded vigilante.
Got a skateboard though.
But
Yeah.
here's what I think they did something
He's
very.
mobile.
He is very mobile, but I think they did something very interesting with him. He is a shameless self-promoter entrepreneur who has his very own YouTube channel and is a local celebrity. But he deeply believes in his version of justice.
I did not read that. They made him
Yeah,
a
I
vlogger.
They made him a vlogger.
Night Thrasher's
Like,
Toby Turner.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, like for reals, like annoying orange. That's not for
Well-
real. I think he's like vlogging. I think he's more like a Felicia Day, like, hey everyone, welcome to the vlog.
2017,
Yeah,
folks.
oh, well, if he is a Felicia Day, that's just cute.
that's right. It's gonna be adorable.
That's adorable.
But I actually really like that update. I think that's a really good update for the character because in the comics that I remember, he was boring. He was just like, I hit people with sticks. Like, I'm on my skateboard. Watch out, I got sticks. Like,
He better have a
like-
skateboard. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Casey from Teenage Mutant Ninja
yeah,
Turtles.
he's basically like a less interesting Casey Jones. Like that's basically it. That's for Night Thrasher. So I think this is a really cool update. Robbie Baldwin, Speedball. His superpower can launch kinetic balls of energy. Now it'll be interesting to see if he can bounce because in the comics he can bounce, which basically means he can fly, like because he can bounce really far.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bounce in that direction, and he'll go. But here it just says that he's more like Gold Balls in the X-Men, where he just like can form these balls and throw them around. But he is let's see, he grew. I like this. I really like their characters on all this. This is all really interesting updates. He grew up watching Quinjets take off from the Avengers Tower and loves the idea of being a hero. He's impulsive, immature, people pleaser, with a misplaced sense of confidence. I like that update. I think that's cool to grow up in the tower or in the shadow of Avengers Tower going, I want to be able to do that, and then having a superpower. I mean, oh my God, I can go do that. Like
I
that's
can do
cool.
all the
Yeah,
things.
I can do all the things. Zach Smith, Microbe, he's that's the dude in the back. He has the ability to talk to germs. That's his power. He can talk to germs. In the comics, I think he can actually kind of control them a bit too. He's a shy, neurotic hypochondriac, which I think is interesting because he can talk to the germs and be like, "Hey, can you get out of me? Thanks." But if you think about it, it makes total sense. Yeah, right. If you think about it, it can make total sense because he can hear all the germs that are constantly around us that we're not aware of.
Yeah, so of course he'd be a hypochondriac.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, there's germs everywhere. No, calm down. You don't understand.
He would also be the greatest detective alive.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things it says.
He wouldn't really have to detect anything.
Yeah, he could just talk to the germs in the room. And they said that basically makes him a telepath because he can talk to germs that are in your brain and be like, hey, where was Coy earlier? Oh, he actually wasn't in traffic? Oh, that's...
He took pictures like a horrible pedestrian.
He was enjoying a calzone?
Oh, that son of a... I can't say that. I've met your mother. She's wonderful and lovely. and not to be worried about.
Stephanie's awesome.
Stephanie's the best. She got me an amazing present.
Yeah.
Finally, Deborah Fields is Debris. She is a low-level telekinetic, and it's the person with the red headband there. And a trickster. She's confidently out as a lesbian. Experienced deep personal loss in her personal life as a direct result of superheroics. So in some way, like superheroes like killed her mom and dad or her family or something like that. She believes that she can take care of herself, but in reality, she needs love as much as any other person. So I'm really excited about it. I was already excited for the show, but now I'm even more excited for it. Do you guys have anything else you want to add before we move on?
I think it's a fun motley crew. You know, there's enough holes in there where it's like they're gonna get into them scraps and won't be able to get themselves out. But then one thing will work, kind of a thing. So I like that. I really hoped Firestar would make the list, but
still might. Still could.
I love Speedball. I thought he was really fun in the 90s. I love that he caused Civil War because he's such a ridiculous character to cause anything of ramifications. And it's only missing blankety blank. It's only team members missing, you guys.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have her in there.
Blankety blank is a very important character.
And
Blankety blank is just
without her.
God. I mean, her powers.
Went the route of Adam Warlock.
Yeah, I love her. I love her car, flippity flop.
Too big of a character.
Flop.
Yeah.
Season 2, maybe?
She's MMNU, forever, blankety blank, and we need her involved more.
Yes, she's canon.
Do you guys think that Freeform, ABC, what used to be ABC Family Channel, is this like shots fired at the CW? Like,
they're definitely going
right?
to be
I mean, they are,
more,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings me to Cloak and Dagger. Did you guys see that trailer?
So good.
Oh my God, so good.
I was excited for the show because it's Marvel and I love Marvel and I'm like,
Right.
all right, Cloak and Dagger, this is cool. Like I'm excited to see this. Like it's interracial couple. Like it's one of the first big ones in comics. This is cool. Like yeah, let's tackle this. Let's do this. But I wasn't expecting as much from it. I was like, this will be fun. I'll enjoy it, but I'll enjoy it because I love Marvel. It'll last for a season and then it'll go away. I saw this trailer and was like, oh man, this might be great.
Yeah,
Like, this could actually
has
be
legs
great.
on
This
it.
has actual legs. This could be good.
I think the network is actually a blessing because Freeform feels like they have a lot to prove. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they really do.
I think it's better they land here. Like, ABC can take a loss or 7. Like, ABC doesn't need the money and the attention and all the publicity.
Sure.
Freeform's like, hey, if we want to compete with CW, we need to make sure every show is quality. We need to make sure...
Yeah.
And Cloak and Dagger is a oddly rich narrative. Like,
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger doesn't get the respect it deserves a lot. And they're really good characters. It's a
many
great
levels
storyline. Yeah,
with
so
it.
Freeform looks like they're really investing as much as they need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you really think about it, it's probably kind of like, you remember back when Cartoon Network wasn't a really big deal. It was just like, it's that channel that you tuned into every now and again. And then it got South Park, and then it was like, everybody started paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And,
This is
I
their
think they had
Toonami.
Adult Swim.
This is
And then
their
like
Dragon Ball Z.
AMC got Walking Dead, and then it's like, oh my God, they
Simpsons
can't
on
do
Fox,
wrong.
yeah.
Exactly.
Like they were like, we have Married with Children. That's a fun show. Simpsons, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a very real possibility that Cloak and Dagger might do that for Freeform.
Yeah. Cloak and Dagger in the comics got their powers from like a synthetic heroin. It was very much like an anti-drug comic of the early 80s.
Yeah.
Created by Bill Mantlo, who also created Rocket Raccoon. And has a very tragic story. And you should go look that up and donate to his cause. He's a very smart and good man. But he created these two characters, and they got their powers. They were the only two to survive Silvermane and his weird drug experiments, and they somehow got powers from the drugs where everyone else died. They got powers, started this weird mystery that I actually don't even know if they ever solved. But the powers are that she she's basically like a mage healer. Like she has power of light. She can heal you. She can like cure you of addictions. She can fill you with this beautiful, healing, wonderful light. Or she can shoot light daggers at you and kill you. But if she doesn't expel light like every 24 hours, then she'll kind of be absorbed by it and kind of explode.
Yeah.
So she has to
downside
to the power.
to that.
However,
Yeah.
Cloak needs light to survive. Otherwise, the darkness will completely take him over, and he'll just become an evil, demonic person.
And we don't want that.
And we don't want that either.
No.
So
There's already a spawn.
he needs the light to keep him. Yeah, he needs the light to keep him from turning dark, like going like full on evil. And she has to get rid of light to not die. And I love the symbiosis of those two characters, and it brings an interesting dynamic to them because it's like the will they won't they is they have to.
Yeah.
Like it's like
They
will
have
they
to
won't
stay
they?
together.
Yeah, will they won't they? They have no choice. They die without each other in a lot of
or
ways.
become even worse, weapons of destruction to everybody else if they don't stay together.
And like just like the legs of that in a season is great.
Yeah.
But I will say, the moment they got me was Cloak on the roof with the cloak.
Yeah,
And I was
that
like,
was so cool.
I am in love with this show already. So yeah. Anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about? Because we got to get moving.
It looked
Yeah.
great. I mean, I was better than I expected, and
Yeah, I enjoyed them in Runaways. Also, they show up in Runaways.
They show up in the New
and-
Warriors, which makes total like the tones of the two shows are completely different. It seems. So it'll be, I think, crossover could be tricky,
So,
but it's also entirely possible. and
anyone
would
in
be
Maximum
cool.
Carnage is cool with me.
That's
all I know.
Storyline.
There you
It's a good
go.
storyline. It's one of the best.
There you go.
Maximum Carnage is, of course, the Spider-Man storyline from the mid-'90s. You should go read that. But yeah, and I will say it seems like they're doing something different with the origin story in this movie.
I
or in
mean,
this
they kind of.
film. Like,
It's good to update it.
yeah,
It
I
was
think it's a
very-
solid update. Like, yeah, I'm excited about it. So if you got questions, tweet us. Luke Cage is most likely
Yes!
going to start production in June, wrapping in March. So what is that, like 8 months? Something like that? 8 to 10 month production schedule, something like that?
Yeah, something
I
like
want to say
that.
March, April. Yeah, like 10 months. 10 months of
Wow, that's
production.
a
That's a long
long-
one, yeah.
Yeah, they'll begin in June. So
Yeah.
now and then.
So, but that means we're probably going to see it not, if it ends in March of next year, probably early 2019, right?
Or they could be their November
Or-
show if they
Yeah,
start
they're
doing quarterly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we talked about
Depends.
them maybe doing quarterly, and that could work.
Yeah, could work.
Yeah, but I don't want them to rush anything, and I
No,
wouldn't
God,
mind.
no.
I wouldn't mind less episodes.
Yeah. Now I'm not as familiar with these characters, so I may need your help,
I
Markia,
am.
because I know that you are. But I believe it was the good folks at MCU Exchange who uncovered this. That and that hashtag show. That hashtag show must have someone in casting because they seem to get these casting breakdowns an awful lot.
Okay.
But they have two characters, Byron. 30 to 45, 6 foot or taller, Jamaican but open to Black Caribbean or African descent, the smartest man in any room, most effortlessly powerful man in any situation, natural leader, brimming with resentment, but focused on justice, physically fit, wildly intelligent, speaks a native accent. Who do you think it is?
Well, it could be one of the Bushmasters.
Okay.
There's the original Bushmaster. That's John.
Yeah.
Well, because there's John. There's Quincy. Well, it's like his name is like McIver. I want to say that like
MacGyver.
McIver, something like that. But there's John, there's Quincy, and then there's Cruz. John and Quincy are brothers. Quincy is the younger brother. The first Bushmaster is John, and he's kind of a dick, especially to Quincy. It's not a good person. But one of the things that he does is like he's going after Luke Cage all the time with like the Power Man thing. He wants the powers, and in a way he does get them, but it's also like be careful what you wish for kind of a thing. Because he gets them like to the nth degree, like not enough where he is just invulnerable.
Yeah.
It's like he's actually turning into unliving metal. So yeah, there's this whole thing with him and the Dr. Noah Bernstein. You remember him from Luke Cage, and also with Claire Temple, where he kidnaps them to. There's this whole thing with Misty Knight too.
So there's a lot. So there's a lot of
there's a lot,
opportunity
but-
with Bushmaster.
Yeah, with Bushmaster, I would think that they might do John Or, well, actually, they could do Cruz because Cruz becomes John because it's a comic book.
Uh-huh.
And after John, like, dies, like, crumbles from being, in living metal, his spirit takes over his son, Cruz. Yeah, Cruz Bushmaster. It's comic books.
Comics.
So 10 months of production, you say?
Yeah, makes sense.
But if
no,
they-
it all makes sense.
If they
I get it now.
They could cut all of that out and just, put those 3 characters together and make
Yeah.
it into Bushmaster, like Bushmaster Ultimate. And then like Quincy's like whole storyline has him going into Serpent Society. I don't know if they want to do anything with that or
Doubt
not.
it.
Yeah, I
Doubt
mean like
it.
he loses his appendages and has like prosthetics put in.
And they're just snakes, right?
Well, yeah,
I'm
well
just
it's like snake. They're
Captain America 4 ties in with Luke Cage and the Serpent Society.
So they could just have a Bushmaster character and just take elements from
Yeah.
all of those. But basically, he hates Luke Cage. He's jealous of him. He wants all the power. He gets too much power, and that's his downfall.
So very similar to what they did with Diamondback.
Yeah. The thing that they have with Bushmaster and Misty Knight, though, which is why I would think this is Bushmaster, is because let's say her and Iron Fist are a little bit on a break,
Yeah.
and she's like going undercover in the Caribbean, and so she's like with a Bushmaster.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's for work, and then she finds out that he's targeting Iron Fist or Luke Cage, I forget which. And so then she like embarrasses Bushmaster to get that information. So then he's all like, yeah, then he kidnaps Clear Temple and Noah to get Misty Knight because he wants Luke Cage to get her, and then that's how Luke Cage ends up meeting Iron Fist. It's a comic book.
It's a comic. It sounds like it's a comic.
book,
So
but that's probably Bushmaster.
who is Tamara? Here's the
No,
description.
That was like
That's probably
that was
Bushmaster.
the longest. That was the longest
10
thing.
years of continuity and Bushmaster.
Sorry.
I feel like you were doing an
Sorry.
impression of me where I'm like, okay, so
It's
no,
like-
but wait, okay,
wait,
but
let's
hold
not
on.
talk about that
No,
part.
but here's okay, wait, no, but yeah, I feel like I feel like you finally kind of became me in a way, where I'm just like,
Well,
not, and I don't mean that as a compliment to me. I mean that as just like I get in my head so much, and I feel like I finally got to see you do that. Like, and
Well,
I don't.
you're my mentor.
That is, I hope not. But it was fun to watch. You'd be like, oh, but like you
this-
like
'cause
that was
there's
like
so
Doctor
much.
Strange with me, where I'm like, okay, so
It's
but
a
wait,
good
no,
read.
but yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good read. It's a
a
good read. Watch it. Okay, so
So then there's also Tamara, mid-20s, early 30s, African-American, female, earthy, brilliant, confident business owner who prides herself on her independence as much as she tries to stay far away from trouble. It always seems to find her. Must be strong singers, series regular. Any predictions?
yes, I've got 2 strong possibles for this. For one, because they say actors must be a strong singer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it might be Monica Lynn, which would
Oh,
cross
that would
into
be awesome.
right.
Oh, that would be cool.
She's Black Panther's like not. We're not going to say first love because Storm is his first love, and I will argue on that. There is no argument with that. Okay, so Monica Lynn, her and Black Panther are a thing. She's a singer, and they could easily make it where she owns her own
Mm-hmm. That
club.
would be awesome.
So I mean, and then Luke Cage has this thing where he like protects her, or
Mm-hmm.
it could be Dakota North. Have they introduced her in Daredevil yet?
I'm not familiar.
I don't know
with
the names. I
Dakota
don't think
North.
they have.
Okay, Dakota North.
Teach me.
She used to be a model. She's the daughter of retired CIA, and then she ends up doing her own private investigation business, and it's like it's really great. She doesn't have powers that I remember. It's just like she's pretty awesome with everything, and then like the usual gambit of I can defend myself. Because in the comics, Claire Temple and Luke Cage do break up. So I would think that this would be a really great opportunity to introduce conflicting love interests. So I
Yeah.
would think either Dakota North, which would also tie into Daredevil storylines, or you could do Monica Lynn, which would kind of tie into Black Panther, but it's far enough removed that
Yeah.
it could be after her and Black Panther have already called it quits.
Gotcha.
Or it's like they're in that it's complicated, so Dora Milaje might go after her.
Oh man, that would be
Yeah.
awesome if we finally started seeing MCU crossover with television.
Yeah.
All right, Rosario Dawson will not appear in The Punisher. That's the news. It's sad. Sorry, we have to move on. Let's see. The MCU will be very different after Avengers 4. We have a very different idea of what the MCU looks like post Infinity War. It's going to be very, very different. Don't know what that means. just that it's going to be different. Sorry, I'm rushing through all of this now because
I
we still want
know.
to talk to our fans. Kevin Feige doesn't know if the MCU will even get a Phase 4. It doesn't seem maybe that it's cohesive. Maybe it's just they're like, hey, we did the extended universe thing, but we kind of ran the gambit. Now we're going to do some like really cool team ups here and there. Like, you guys know that these could cross over, but we don't necessarily need to build to a giant overarching story.
Great. Less Iron Man 2 syndrome.
Yeah, but honestly, Thor and Hulk.
Yeah,
Like,
stuff
we-
like that's
Yeah,
great.
that's fine.
We've
I wouldn't-
established the characters. We know we love
We
them.
know
we
the
know
characters.
what they do.
We know that they all exist in the same universe. We don't need to see them building to a team every.
And then
4
the
years.
actors are going to be more likely to sign on for a few movies. And
Yeah.
then we get stuff like Gifted, which is a great Chris Evans movie. Like stuff that where they can do their independent
Yeah.
stuff, jump back in.
So they will not unveil Phase 4 Slate or Infinity War 2 title anytime soon.
Unless it's Gauntlet.
Unless it's Gauntlet and Zoe Saldana. She accidentally did that. And then finally, Marvel Studios says more iconic actors will start showing up in the Marvel movies. Feige said to Fandango, there are a few iconic actors that are coming up. Actually, I'll keep this spoiler free, but be assured that there are more surprises of that caliber heading into our universe for the next few films.
Interesting. Meryl Streep as Emma Frost.
So,
I'd want Helen Mirren. I know. I still want it.
so he was asked
I'm not an
specifically.
ageist.
He was asked specifically
Meryl Streep's the same age.
about Al Pacino, and he responded, "No, not in this case. Someday, but there are others that I'm thinking of right now. So not Pacino,
Yeah.
but De Niro, De Niro or Pesci.
Little Pesci, I was gonna say, little Joe Pesci.
Little Joe Pesci.
All right. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, that would be
I'd be
amazing.
very cool with that.
And we've already got Stallone. Maybe we get Schwarzenegger.
All right.
I don't know who, but
I
maybe.
wouldn't hate some Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, maybe make him president of the U.S. in some weird way.
I'm just saying the most iconic
Chancellor
actor
Drew.
of all time, Ben Foster, should be in this universe. I'm
Oh,
just saying,
super iconic.
There is no one.
Put him on Mount Rushmore.
No
like,
bigger
an
star
icon,
than
a
Ben
total
Foster.
icon. No, you're good. You're good. You're right.
know.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
I'm sorry that we don't have time to talk about all that stuff. We've got about 5 minutes, and Markia still needs to say hello to all of our Merry Marvellites. So Markia, take it.
Yes, because we have some shout outs for our Merry Marvellites. Ali Junad at Chandler Fan, Jocelyn at Bad Wolf Bay 10, Ricky Alsace at Vegito247, Richard Russo at Danger Russo 22, Glorious Greg at XG Philly 929, Shane Pickett at Dad Rad 4.
Dad Rad.
Dad Rad. Jake Wood at Bo Staff Turtle. And then Stephanie at Staff Amethyst.
Hi,
Which
Mama
is,
Jandro.
Amethyst is the title of her book.
Her book.
So
She's
you
got a
should
book.
check
You should
that
go check that out.
I hear it's got dirty parts in it, which is awesome.
That's why Coy isn't Reddit. He loves his mom, but doesn't need to go there.
So questions from Doc Civil. Hey gang, wasn't Jan-Rog name checked in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
I
One of the
don't.
Xander Nova Corps pilots that got crushed during the climatic air battle?
Doc Silva, we'll have to check that
Gonna
out.
make us Google.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. Oh darn! I'm
Because
gonna
I
have to go
wonder-
watch Guardians again.
no.
Oh, no.
We're not all doing that this week anyway.
Right? A lot of
That's a
Fox
great question,
Marvel that is a really good one. A lot of Fox Marvel release dates came out today. This was a poll that we did. What are you Marvelites most excited for at Marvel Movie News? 14% said none of them. You snarky so-and-sos. 11% said X-Men Dark Phoenix. I was part of that 11%. 13% New Mutants. And 62% Deadpool 2.
That's right.
Not surprising.
Very nice. So some comments. Some from Aussie Kangasharju at The Real Xosis. Would love to see Koi casting of upcoming New Warrior show.
Oh,
Ooh, let's do that this week. Might take a little bit. I want to go through
Yeah.
all of them. Let's do all of them. Next
Okay.
week, I'll come in with all of them.
will you?
I will, and if I
You
don't
still owe us-
physically,
Yeah.
if I don't physically come in, I will tweet it, and you guys can read it.
You still owe us.
Runaways that I haven't
Runaways.
finished reading yet.
You better.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't forgotten. Have not forgotten. It's a
right.
place of guilt. Sorry, go ahead. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
From Charles Lee at GoofyFan_Chuck. Your discussion of Cloak and Dagger plus what Fox has to offer, that alone is an entire show. This will be
I
a big
know.
episode.
It's the problem.
Right?
I'm
There
Charles.
was
I'm
a
sorry
lot,
that we didn't get a chance to
yeah.
really talk about that.
You know, I'm sure there'll be more news for us to be able to talk in the upcoming
Yeah,
weeks.
exactly.
Yeah. And then Osin is it McMahon? I hope that's how you say it. I wonder if they'll ever make reference to Carol Danvers being Miss Marvel in the movies. Oh, like her prototype suit is the Miss Marvel suit and it's less revealing. And then she goes on to the Captain Marvel suit by the second half of her solo movie. This could even be a thing in the movie. Are you Miss Marvel? No, I'm Captain Marvel.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be interesting if they had Marvel of of the Kree.
Yeah,
And she
it
did actually
depends.
get his powers from him.
It depends, because like they said in the synopsis that it's like an accident with an alien, and then they're doing that. So I mean, it has.
But
to
then
be
they also said that they
Mar-Vell.
were like afraid that it was too close to the Green Lantern origin,
Which
which
I
I
don't think
still
so,
completely
but,
disagree
you know.
with. But I'm not in the midst of the writing, so I don't know.
As long as they keep her actual character itself, I'm
Yeah.
okay with them. Having fun with
Yeah,
some origins.
and I do think that we'll probably get her origin story actually in Infinity War. I really, really do,
Right.
because like it's going to be so much to squeeze into one film.
So real quick, there was a fan that tweeted me. I'm sorry, I forget your name. I did not write it down. I can answer you via Twitter too. But you were asking for comics, X-Men comics that involved like Danger Room or Danger Room training. You can see Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men. I recommend. I think it's Volume 3.
That's
is
where
when it
Danger
starts.
comes in.
Yeah, that's when Danger does.
Yeah.
I recommend reading that. I mean,
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Astonishing X-Men is really good.
Yeah, I thought it was very strong. And then, well, I just had to throw that out there because
Sure.
I remembered it. And then for the picture that we have up right now, this is from Childress_J. It's from Instagram. And he blames and thanks Marvel Movie News and Popcorn Talk for his new additions to his bobblehead collection. He loves his Black Panther and Daredevil.
I'll take the credit. We'll take the credit for that.
I'll
Yeah,
take the
absolutely.
credit for that.
High fives for us.
So nice.
Thank you, Markia. Sorry that we didn't have time to cover everything.
Only one thing in the live chat. I'll go through fan stuff next week, but people said Tom Hanks is what they want to see in the MCU most. They wanted me to
That would be cool.
cast Tom Hanks. This is bold. You're gonna get real mad, internet. I think he'd be an incredible Norman Osborn.
Wow.
'Cause
Wow.
he's got to be
Okay.
charming. He's got to be a face of the people. He's got to be leading a business. He's got to be someone you
Yeah.
trust. But I could so see Tom Hanks going dark and like playing with that darkness and being
I'm interested to see what he does on The Circle, that
Yeah.
movie that comes out.
I think that
even
he's-
this weekend.
I'd
I
say
think
Norman
that he's
Osborn.
of an age that he could be terrifying.
I think it'd be really-
Before he was too babyface.
Yeah.
Now it's like
Norman Osborn, Tom Hanks. That'd be my bet. That'd be my dream.
It's not
Cool.
bad. It's not bad. I don't hate you for that.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I hate you for a lot of other things.
I mean,
but I hate you for that.
Zach Efron is Norman Osborn. There it is. Now I can get
Stop it.
Oh yeah, and I did agree to a YouTube comment for Lawrence Fishburne as Doc Ock would be very awesome.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is good. All right,
I
we've
forget
got to
what
shut it
yes.
off. Do you have anything, Ollie?
I do not have anything. I'm still just like kind of my mind's at Marvel versus Capcom. And
Wow, you never
sorry.
left that.
That was like 2 hours ago.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Where can people find you, Markia?
You can find me at Markia McCarty on Instagram and Twitter. That's MarkiaMcCarty. Also, Snapchat is Darth Thinmints. Darth is Invader. Thinmints as in Girl Scout cookies. I will be on Screen Junkies News this upcoming Monday, so catch me then.
Koi, 10 seconds, go.
You can find me at COYJANDRU on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Movie Fights Things and here, and you guys are amazing. Thank you.
I will be on the Wednesday Club tomorrow on Geek and Sundry's Twitch, and I'm on Screen Junkies Thursdays and Fridays, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.